and welcome back to
Bunso Bites.
I'm your host, Ami43.
And I'm your co-host, Chiggy.
Hi, Chiggy.
Hi, Ami.
How are you?
Meh.
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 It's been a meh week.
It's a weird weather week right now.
Yeah.
It's been super hot, like sweat everywhere. And then, just rain wants to come out of nowhere and cool us down. But now it's like ugly rain.
And it's making it mad humid. So even though you're right, it's probably cooled down. It's cooled down significantly because we had the heat wave and then temperatures have been like relatively higher. Obviously it's summertime, and then the rain came, and at first it was like, oh, like a nice summer rain. Oh, okay, we cooled down. And then it just got gnarly and nasty, and I'm like, oh, that's not fun anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one to not like the hot weather.
Yeah.
I like cool, cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was born in autumn, so I'm a fall winter baby, and I just like the cold. So I'd rather have it be cold outside and bundle up when it's like that, opposed to it being hot and you really can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's true. And I think to a certain degree, or for all intents and purposes, I do agree with you, but I really like the sun.
Oh,
As
yeah,
in
Florida girly.
Yeah, well, and also I don't like the thing that I don't like in the wintertime, particularly here, because we have 4 seasons in Hampton Roads, is that during the wintertime the sun sets at 5, and so I would literally go to work, come back home, and it's dark outside, like, and I didn't see the sun, and there would be weeks at a time where I don't see the sun, because, well, let me not say week, because obviously on the weekends, but like, it's just like throughout the weekdays, so to speak. Yeah, and it's miserable. It makes me miserable. But in the summertime, I do like that when I wake up and I go to work, and I go to work relatively early, but at least, I see the sun creeping out. And then on the way home, it's like, for all intents and purposes, assuming the weather is nice, I get to enjoy the beautiful afternoon. But then in the wintertime, I don't get that, and it's really frustrating.
I see.
Because it's just my particular cubicle, I literally face away from the window. I have a nice cubicle because it's really large, but I face away from the windows. So I genuinely do not see the sun unless I make it a point to either go outside myself or like walk by, my coworkers' desks that have windows. And I wouldn't say it's like full on, what is it called? Seasonal depression. It's not that bad for me, but I can feel a difference like internally where I'm like, I enjoy when I have more sun in my day.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just dark. And then when it's dark, I don't want to do anything. We'll make plans and I'm just like, I don't want to be outside dark. It's like, I don't want to do that. So anyways, all of that to say, it is summertime. It is. Something we were talking about the other day was summertime is so different for us now as adults, obviously. When you're a child and it's summertime, you're on vacation, so to speak. You're on summer break from school. Obviously, as an adult, we don't really get that, or we get that it's different, right? We can take breaks or leave whenever we want to, but it's not quite the same as like full on 2 months of just summer. Also, recently I got the ad or the notification or whatever that, I don't know if you remember the show Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
They are doing like another season, like a completely new season, and then the whole point of that show is 104 days of summer vacation. And so like I said, Chicky and I were talking about it the other day, and we were thinking like, oh, that'd be a fun podcast episode of like reminiscing on our summers as kids, and because we don't have that anymore. Well, like I said, it's different.
It's really, really different now that we're older. We are quote unquote adults. We have to do adult things, but yes, it has changed tremendously.
So I guess going back to the beginning, What are your like fond memories of summer, or were like anything that like stuck out that you were like, "Ooh, that was best summer ever"?
Nothing like that. We had phases. So
Phases, okay.
yeah. When we were like middle school, high school, couldn't drive. We would somehow be able to go to the mall and just hang out at the mall.
Yeah.
So either like your brother or your sister or your parents, someone would take us to the mall, drop
you off, yeah,
and then pick us up later.
Yeah, like you would spend the whole day essentially.
Correct. There. And literally we did that one random day, and we got there at open, dropped off, and then we stayed there until it closed, and then got picked up.
That's wild.
And yeah, we literally stayed there the entire day. Don't know what we did throughout the entire time, because like there's only so many things you can do at the mall.
Also, if you don't have money to like
exactly,
like what are you gonna do?
And so there were very creative ways for us to get through the entire day.
Yeah.
So I distinctly remember us because we used to go to Lynn Haven Mall, and back then Lynn Haven Mall was 2 stories.
Okay.
And so the entire food court plus a couple of stores were on the 2nd floor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And up there with the food court was a place called Aladdin's Castle, and it was
what is that?
basically an arcade place.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I spent most of my time.
Right.
And I distinctly remember during one of the summers when Dance Dance Revolution came out. That was the big thing. Like, I would see it like in passing. Some of the vendors that they had at Lynn Haven Mall, they would have like the small plastic dance pads, and they were like trying to sell it. But the actual mall did buy the machine for it.
The arcade machine.
The arcade machine, yeah. And that thing was like the hit of the arcade. And so for like months on end, when it first came out, that thing was just crowded. And, every time I would able to go to the mall, that's the first place I went to see who's playing, see how people actually do like the expert levels. And like back then I didn't know how to play. And so like I remember when I first started playing DDR, I would keep my left foot still and just move your right foot. Stop. Yes. So my left foot would be on the left arrow, and then my right foot would take care of the other 3, because I didn't know how to play. And so
he said coordination with one foot. Oh, y'all can't see that. I'm sorry. That's so cute though.
Yeah. And then, over time, you just you watch people, you learn from them, and then you put it into action.
Yeah.
And so, bit by bit, I'd go from like the basic songs, or the quote unquote light songs, and then to the standard songs, or to the standard levels. And then I would just barely do a couple of the expert songs.
Really? Just barely?
Yeah, just barely. Because like even though I was like more I say quote unquote athletic, because I could move around a lot more in my younger days, like I was able to do a couple of those expert level songs. But now I'm just like I'm out of breath.
Yeah, very much so. I don't know which iteration of DDR you had. I think the version that I had was 3 or 4, and I remember I did the same thing kind of growing up. It wasn't necessarily going to the mall, but I would go to the arcade a lot. And it wasn't even just summer. Like I would go after school sometimes. Because I had after school program, but I normally had like an hour to kill in between. So I'd like run to the arcade, do a couple games, and then run off to my after school programs. But I remember, I think I had DDR3, or whichever one was the green machine. I don't know. Maybe we can Google it and figure it out. I could be totally, I just remember the machine lights being the color green.
Okay.
And I remember the first time, or the first couple times I was trying it, the absolute death grip that I had on the little bar. So there's like, if you're unfamiliar, which I hope you're not, because this is classic gaming, but classic. There's literally like a upside down U-shaped bar it's there obviously for safety and like, you know, hold it if you're about to fall. But like when I first started playing and when many people first start playing, you don't really know what you're doing because this is the first time for a lot of people to play a video game with your feet. And so just like the absolute death grip I would have, like holding my hands behind my back onto this bar and like just trying to keep up. But I do remember, like, I'm pretty sure I mastered all the songs on it. Like I maxed out super expert on all of them. Because, well, I don't know, because you were saying there's light songs and standard songs. Didn't every song have light?
No.
Oh, okay. See, I was about to say, so that's the difference between the machine that I played on, at least as a child or growing up, was every song had light. Well, it wasn't light. Maybe it was easy, medium, expert, super expert.
I think you would know it better based on the color.
Yeah.
So yellow was like the easier ones,
like 1 out of 5 stars. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then the reddish or pink ones were the normal levels, and then the green ones were the expert levels. Now I do remember that in the first iteration of Dance Dance Revolution, they only had, in the arcade version, only had 2 modes. Either you played light standard or you played expert.
What?
Yes.
Oh, see, I didn't know. Okay, that was not my experience, but okay.
The
That's
default
wild.
would be the light standard mode.
Yeah.
You could switch between the two.
Okay.
But if you wanted to play expert, you had
to play it.
No, you had to put a code into the machine. Like you had to press the left, right on the
Yes, there's 3 buttons. Yeah.
3 buttons, and then you press like a certain order, and then it will switch to expert mode, and then you play.
Not the Konami code, but I still wanted to say that.
Yeah, but anyways, I do remember that, and once I finally learned how to like put in the code correctly,
access it, right.
then I started delving into the expert songs. But I mean, that first iteration, even like the standard songs were really hard for me because it had like Dynamite Rave, it had Afro Nova, it had Boom Boom Dollar.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, so that was like
Absolute
the first
classics.
iteration of it.
Right. Oh, that's my brain just. All the lights just flew across my brain. That was amazing. Yeah, no, that's so interesting that it was an entirely separate thing, because like I said, on my version, it was just. That's exactly how I did. I played every song as light and standard, or light and easy. I would just go through it until I could pass, and then I was like, okay, I passed this, so then I'd go to medium. Oh, I can pass all of them, and then I would go to expert, and then I could pass all of them, and then I go to super expert, and then I pass all of them. Like I maxed that game out, which was a lot of fun. It at your arcade, was DDR when it came out? Was it like super popular? Like, did you have to wait a long time? To play? Yeah. For mine, to be fair, I'm also talking about the arcade that I'm talking about was on a military base in like the middle of the base, where they're like, you know, you have a couple of, you know, dependents who would play. Like when I tell you that thing was like smaller than a standard bedroom, I mean, it was a tiny arcade. But what I do remember though was I unintentionally became friends with people who were older than me because of that game.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of, because when I started playing it in middle school, and because that's when I was going to the main base for school. During elementary school, I was staying at my home base, but then I would go to the main base for middle school, but then no other middle schoolers were like, I wouldn't say that they weren't playing it, but they weren't as devout as I was.
Okay.
I was going regularly, at least twice a week. And so I made a lot of unintentionally like high school friends because of it, but it like genuinely we were all just like obsessed with the game.
Gotcha.
And one of my favorite things was, so I would normally go on Tuesdays and Thursdays because of my after school program, but like the rare occasion that I can go on a weekend and it was busy, one of my favorite things, and to this day I'm just like, oh, it's not, I mean, arcades just aren't the same anymore, but I distinctly remember when you would leave either your quarter or your token on the board. You don't do that anymore because everything is a digital card, or like you swipe your phone or something. But I remember like how like it's so funny. Like, you literally see it's like the game is playing and like the whole machine is shaking. You just see this like perfectly lined up quarters and or tokens depending
Right.
on, you know, how your arcade did it. And it was just like, you know, and what was nice was that for all intents and purposes, in my experience, it was honor system. Like, everyone, no one cut in line, but then at the same time, no one wanted to wait in line. So you were just gonna put your like, we would call out to people, be like, "Hey, it's Tyler's turn." Like, you know, he's playing Street Fighter or whatever, and like we would call out to people, and it was, you know, it was such a nice way to have. That was such a nice like gaming community in its own way. So I do remember that tiny little arcade growing up, but boy, did I log the hour. So I know the sad thing is I didn't really play much else. I just played DDR, but probably because I didn't really have too many other, like, I had friends who played DDR, but like I didn't have any friends who would play any of the other games with me.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I would play Street Fighter or Capcom versus Marvel, and then no one would want to play with me. So I'm like, all right, I'll go back to DDR because at least I can have fun doing that. So that was a lot of fun. And that is a nice memory. I'm trying to remember how I used to go during the summer. I guess I would just go whenever I was on base, because I know I would go during the summertime too. And so so because I lived on a separate base, and then I'd have to go to main base even during the summer, and that was fun. That was what was cool. That's like one of my favorite things about summer back then, or at least when I was growing up, was because of my living situation, I had a lot of independence as a child. So, and to be fair, completely different time. I would not recommend anyone doing this now. But my parents would literally give me, you know, a weekly, a monthly allowance, and I just had to like budget it myself. But then I would just have the freedom to go and do whatever I wanted to do for all intents and purposes, as long as I was home by dinner time. And for us at the time, dinner time was always at 5. So I would, you know, I could literally travel. Like, I would go from my base, I would go off base, travel on a train by myself to go to the main base, hang out at the main base, do whatever I wanted to do. And then if, depending on like timing, I would either ride back home with my parents to go to dinner, or I would just take the train back myself and then, you know, meet them at the house.
Wow.
Like, I was fully, completely independent. And there was also buses, but I didn't like the buses. The buses were free though, but I like taking the train because I felt like I was like, oh, I'm doing this like by myself, and I could do it.
Right.
It's very empowering. And again, is it number one, very different time. This is pre what is it, 2001? So very different time. I was trying not to say the other number, so I was like, what year was it? Although I was there when when 2001 happened, but you know, and so it was just and also I don't know, my parents just thought that, and we thought I was safe for all intents and purposes. No issues whatsoever. So yeah, I missed that part of growing up and that part of summer, because it was like I had all the time because I was on summer break, and you know, where I lived, I was in such a safe place where I could be independent, do things so I could literally just do what I wanted. If I wanted to go hang out at the skate park with my skateboarding friends, I would do that. No, I do not skateboard. Would break my ankles every time I tried. You know, or I would go to the arcade, or I would go off base, or like, you know, I would literally do anything and everything. And back then, I remember, so my parents were pretty early to give me a cell phone, and I think it was because of this, like because I was independently going around a lot. And I remember you only had, I think, 132 characters on that particular on that phone that I had. 132 characters and 250 text messages a month, which is wild to think that, because now, oh my goodness, I mean, how many text messages do we send in a day, let alone a month? So yeah, and it was just the only time I would ever get in trouble is if I was late for dinner, literally. So it's that, and I'm sure what is the old, not old adage, but like the phrase that people say, that you'd be out until the street lights turned on. For me, it was always, you're out until 5 p.m. because 5 p.m. was dinner time. That was that, like super easy. So yeah, that's one of my favorite. And I was like, I love that we talked about DDR of all things. That's really really
Yeah.
cool.
For us, or I say for myself,
Mm-hmm.
For me, my summers always revolved around some type of game.
Yeah.
And so, when we didn't have anything to do at home, and we'd go to the mall, we'd go to the arcade.
Sure.
When we got older and we got jobs, we had our own money, we could spend.
You had money to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we started buying
Big
our own
difference.
games.
Yeah.
And so, back then, we did have one computer at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember during the summer, like, because there was only one computer, me and my brother, we would fight over like who got to play
Really?
what game at what time.
Aw.
So it's either you got there first or you had to wait until
Certain
it
time.
was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were playing Ragnarok online,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like a game that's like over 15 years old now.
Yeah.
And like back then, the graphics were so cool because it was like very JRPG type,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an action-based game, so it was point and click, point and click, point and click.
Mm.
And my brother is the one who introduced me to the game, and he would play it for hours on end, and I would just watch him play, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, do this, do this, do this," because
So
I'm like, I can't
cool.
play, so I have to backseat game.
Yeah.
And so when we finally got another computer, we would play together.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cute.
But it took a while for that to happen because it was like we had an outdated computer, which was the one that I played on,
Yeah.
and then the new computer my brother would play on.
Uh-huh.
So he would have like the better graphics, he would have the better ping to do things. And I'm just like, hold on, I'm still loading.
Loading in. Yeah.
Like I remember those summers where you would stay home and just play games.
Yeah.
And then even when we got more older,
Mhm.
and we started growing apart, like my brother would hang out with his friends, I'd hang out with my friends because we
Right.
both could drive now.
Oh, yes.
And
yes,
so after like going to the mall, playing at home, we would start hanging out at places. So
Okay.
like when we all had money to spend,
Mhm.
well, not all of us, but most of us had money to
yes.
spend.
Right. You had some cash on you.
Yeah, we had like a designated night, which usually be like Friday nights or something,
Mm-hmm.
and we all go out to eat somewhere. Our mainstays were usually like Applebee's or something,
Yeah.
and we just go there, eat dinner, and just talk it up for hours.
Yeah. When you could sit at a restaurant for hours and like they didn't kick you out.
Yeah, because you were still like eating and whatever.
Right. Right.
And back then they had pretty good deals too. Like I know now they have like the half off apps over like what 10 o'clock
Yeah.
until they close. And so like they had something similar to that back
Mhm.
then. And even like their 3-course meal where you get like the
2 for 20,
appetizers
yeah.
and the main course, and then you get a dessert.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had better deals back then because it was cheaper. But,
Yeah.
I've
I've heard
yeah.
that it's changed recently too.
Yeah, so we would do that. We'd go to Applebee's, we'd go to like Outback Steakhouse,
Oh.
just whatever was in the area that was like a central location to all of us whenever we like go out to eat.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like, oh, we want to do something all the way in Norfolk, but only one of us lived in Norfolk. And so it was like, okay, we're not all going to go there because we're all not going to take our gas out
More,
just
I was
to go
about to
over
say gas
there.
money. Yeah.
And so it was always somewhere close by to where we all lived. So other than that, I think those were like the highlights of like the summers when I was.
Those are like teenager years, right?
Oh yeah, we were like 19 then.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
the end of my teenage years.
Right.
The other.
You're on the
others-
older side.
Yeah,
of
I'm
your
on the
group
older
of
side.
friends.
So the others were like 18, 17.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it went on for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but you would hang out whenever you could, whenever you had money, and then if it wasn't that, then we would go to someone's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if we weren't doing anything, like
Mhm.
watching TV, playing a board game, or just doing something, we'd just be talking, hanging out,
Being
and that
present
was
with each other.
that was just the life of hanging out, just
yeah.
talking to each other, hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
but-
For hours.
Hours, yes,
Yeah.
hours. I don't know. I can't really remember what we did all those times.
Yeah, it's not like you did anything extravagant or spectacular. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's you're just with your friends.
Exactly.
I know as I got into my teenage years, so I moved back to the States starting my freshman year of high school. So be awkward and be scared of everyone because I'm in a completely new country again, trying to start high school. So I do know that as much as I made friends in the early year, like my early high school years, I definitely and I want to touch on one very hyper specific summer that I had where I just was living my best introverted life because I discovered this wonderful website called Crunchyroll. And this was back in the day when Crunchyroll was a free website. Like you didn't even have to use your email. Like you had no login, nothing.
Yep.
Just you would go to the website and look up any anime that you wanted to watch. And I devoured all of the content. Like so I brain rotted myself that entire summer. I mean, literally like would spend days, wake up, go onto the computer, log into Crunchyroll because my parents were working. So they would go to work and I was just at home. But since I was in the States, I didn't have the freedom that I had when I lived overseas. And then so it was just like, well, I didn't have a car, didn't know how to drive. I mean, I was only 13, 14 at the time. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember which summer this was, but it was a high school summer. And it was just very much like, I'd wake up and I would make myself a bowl of egg and rice. And then I would sit at the computer and I would eat my egg and rice and I would watch Crunchyroll the whole time. And then at around 2:00, I would remember, oh yeah, my mom said cook rice and take out X meat from freezer. So I would do that at 2:00, go back to the computer. Oh, well, and probably make myself like some type of quick lunch, go back to the computer, stay on the computer, like complete brain rot until my parents got home. Am I proud of this summer? Absolutely not. But was I also thriving in my introverted self? Yes. Would I ever recommend it ever to anyone? Not necessarily, because I 100% know that I lost a lot of brain cells doing that. But it was just so surreal to have this. Back then, it felt like it's not, but it felt like back then just this encyclopedia of media that I was so craving to consume. And it was nice because back then I really, really, really did not like dubbed, and Crunchyroll had subbed versions. Because a lot of times whenever you would look up animes and you're using an American server, it automatically gives you the dubbed versions. And at the time, I despised everything dubbed. I was like, no, it should always be in the original language, and I could always just read it. It never bothered me to read, closed captioning. But, and what I loved about Crunchyroll was that I could always find the subbed version, not dubbed. So, yeah, that was an entire summer of brain rot. And, yeah, it's weird because it's like, in like a weird part of my brain, it was like, that was the highest of highs because I literally did nothing. But also I'm like, that's the lowest of lows because I did absolutely nothing. This was also the time that I really got into YouTube also. So like if I quote unquote ran out of anything on Crunchyroll, I could hop over to YouTube and it was the same thing. So, it was just consuming all the video media. I mean, literally an entire summer of that. And then, eventually I figured out life and made friends. So, about like late high school into my college years, that's when I would hang out with friends. And normally for me, it was always after something. So after a Devo or after a practice or after a whatever. And then we didn't want to we didn't want to separate. So then we would go to someone's house or we would go out somewhere. We did a lot of Chili's in my day because the Chili's is down the street from my house. And it was the same thing, and even then what I loved was that, and I guess, I don't know if it's still the same now. I guess I wouldn't do it now because I would be nervous to do it now. But I remember like I would go to that Chili's and I would literally get the chips and dip, which is like, and I would pay for the like cheese dip or whatever, which is like $2.99 or like a less than $5. But we would spend 3 hours there, me just eating my chips and dip and water because we didn't have money. We didn't get kicked out. Now, if I were to do that now, I would be terrified. Like I feel like they would either kick me out, or I can't imagine a restaurant letting me stay paying less than $5 for that long. So yeah, we did a lot of Chili's. Or one of my personal favorites is we would pick up the Publix ready chicken, and we bring that to the house, and we just are hanging out in someone's living room eating Publix chicken. If you do or do not know, Hampton Roads has recently acquired 2 Publixes.
Yep. And
it has been the highlight of our year. One of the highlights. I also got engaged, but you know what I mean? So, yeah, I do miss that one of the staples of summer was hanging out with your friends, and it was because you weren't, busy with school, or like everyone had part-time jobs, so everyone's schedule was like relatively flexible. So you had the luxury of time on your side just to do nothing, just to hang out, just to figure out life, just to talk about problems, just to, do silly things like make YouTube covers. I mean,
gosh.
And I don't know what you guys did. We would do the MacBook selfie cam with the heart filter on it and just do AJ Raphael covers and stuff, which is so lame thinking about it. I'm so glad we never posted those, but like that's the kind of thing that you would do, and you would spend so much time on like, okay, you sing this part, I sing this part, and then we'll harmonize here. Like we would break down so many parts for a mediocre product, but it was fun, and it that's how we killed our time. So yeah. The memes. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, we did that too. That was like later on when we were all in college.
Yeah.
And we were all going to school. Well, I can't say all of us, but the majority of us went to school.
You were at the age. Right. Some of you guys were in higher education. Some of you guys were working. So on and so forth.
Right. And like I remember when I was in college, and it took me a long time to graduate.
Yeah.
So me just getting a 4-year degree took me 7 years.
Which is so wild to me. Y'all, you don't understand. Chiggy is so much smarter than I will ever be in my life. Truly, completely. This man can look at numbers like no other. However, when he told me that it took him that long to graduate, I was like, for how? For why? Because I took 3.5, a little over 3 years. Yeah. No, 3.5, because it was 3 and then 1 additional semester. I graduated December. Like, I graduated early. I am not smart. I need to make that very clear. I'm not ignorant. I am, but I'm not. But I'm just like, he is so much smarter than me, and the idea that it took him that long to graduate, I'm like, what even?
Yeah, so the reason why is probably you overloaded on your classes. So being minimum a full-time student, minimum was 12 hours.
12 credit hours?
Yeah, and then a max would be 18. So anything after 18 credit hours, you were overloading.
Yeah, majority of my semesters were 18, and then 2 or 3 of my semesters I had a 22, a 24, and a 21.
That's crazy, because the most credit hours I ever did in a semester was 15.
That's crazy. What did you do with the time in between?
Time in between, I would either be at home, not studying, playing Xbox, whatever Halo game was out, or playing Destiny, because I do remember where I'd be like playing Destiny like days on end, just because either one, I didn't want to do homework, or 2, I just had free time, and that's what I was doing. And there were times where I forgot to register for classes. That happened twice. I've told you this before.
No, you haven't.
Yes,
You
I have.
Forgot to register?
Yeah. I forgot to register, and when I went to go register, it was already too late. So I did that.
Do you not have the add to calendar button? What do you mean you forgot to register? Like, they broadcast it all over campus. How do you miss that?
I just did. What do you mean? You just do it. Like, what?
You just do it. No, you don't just do it.
There was no one that was like my counselor at the time.
Okay.
I didn't have an assigned counselor. It was
no one has an assigned counselor. You have to go yourself.
You would go to the school
Yeah.
or to the computer and register for classes.
Right.
No one ever gave me that motivation, that inspiration to go to
Homeboy
college.
said the inspiration.
Yes. And like register for classes, right?
Okay.
And so the first semester after high school,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I need to register for classes now. And like, it was the week before the first day of school.
Stop. What? Did you even... How did you get accepted? Wait, what? How?
It happened, okay? Anyways, so
it is wild to me because I know that if we met any earlier, it would not have worked out.
That's why it didn't work out, okay? So, first semester after high school, forgot to register for classes, and by the time I was accepted to register for classes already begun, and it was past the deadline where you could register.
I'm dead.
So, that first semester,
What'd you do?
I had to act like I was still going to school.
What do you mean?
I would get ready for the day, leave the house when I was supposed to go to quote-unquote school, so that I gave the idea that I was going to school. And for the whole semester, I would be out, do something, come back home. Mm-hmm.
I am so angry on behalf of your parents. I'm so frustrated on behalf of everyone who is supporting and believing in you at the time. And I'm so glad that we did not start dating earlier than we did.
Hey, we've all done something that we don't want to talk about or admit to.
Well, yeah.
Yes. This is mine. And then, so after I got my associate's degree, it happened again when I transferred from Old Dominion from Tidewater Community College going to Old Dominion.
Yes, that's right. You did start community and then you transferred over, which honestly, that's probably, well, I don't want to say my biggest regret, but if I could redo, I think I would solely for cost purposes, because the degree that I ended up getting, it's not like I needed to be at the university my first 2 years. If I could redo, I would do community college first and then transfer over.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone makes it seem like, no, you have to be at university the whole time. It's part of the experience. Da, da, da.
No.
Honestly, your first 2 years, you're taking math,
Gen
science,
eds.
English. Yeah, all your gen eds does not matter. It's just like you're going to high school, I think. So, because I was in all AP and honor courses. So, like, it was just like high school for, like, the first 2 years. Albeit, for me, I was going to my university campus at the time. And looking back on it and looking at how much money I spent doing my first 2 years. And by money I spent, please keep in mind, I was on scholarship. I did also have my college, my parents set up, like, the Florida prepaid, all that stuff. But it's like, I would have saved so much money if I just did community college first. Continue.
Yeah. So it happened again when I got my associates and I needed to transfer over to Old Dominion to get my bachelor's.
Was that always in the plan, though? Like, you knew you were going to transfer? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that you had to take an orientation before you could register for classes. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Old Dominion, trying to register for classes. They were like, hey, you can't do that until you attend orientation. And I was like, when was orientation? They were like, oh, that was like weeks ago.
Weeks ago, yeah.
Well
then.
When's the next one? To like at the beginning of the next semester. So I was like, well, there goes another semester.
That's wild.
Yeah. And so it was bad because, like, usually orientation is for new students.
Yeah,
and
normally your freshies.
transferees.
Yes.
But when I attended my orientation, the majority was for new students, and so these were like kids coming straight from high school.
Yes. Yeah.
And like a bunch of parents were there, and I was just like, well, that's not me. I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, can we just get through this?
Okay, I will say I did do my college orientation by myself as well. And how do you get accepted and then you don't receive the email that you need to go to orientation? First of all, I don't know if that's a youth problem or if that's an ODU problem, but ODU, check your emails. Maybe you should send one to notify students, especially transferee students, because because that's the thing. When you think of orientation, you think, oh, that's all the freshmen, that's all the freshies. They're not. That's not me. I'm transferring in. I'm already a student. I understand why the need of orientation is needed, because obviously if you're new to the school, you need to be shown like the facilities and everything and where to park and all that. Like that makes sense. But I wouldn't think of that as a transfer. I wouldn't think of that as like, oh, attending orientation. But no, I attended orientation by myself, and I felt very weird because everyone had their parents except for me. And I was like, twiddling my thumbs, looking very out of place. Very out of place. But honestly, my parents did that because at least my dad explained later, it was to teach me like how to be able to commute, because I did not live on campus. I lived at home all of my college time.
Same.
Because we're not out here trying to get student loans. And so I had to commute to go to school, and it was a 45-minute commute for me, 45 to an hour. And in back then I was used to only driving maybe 30-40 minutes. So my parents were like, you need to learn how to drive this. Have fun at orientation. And I was like, okay, bye. I was like, figure it out on your own. So yeah. Oh, that's really funny though that you just were like, oh, I need orientation. Oh, I can't sign up for classes. Well, another semester.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, no, straight up. That's so funny though. Oh man. Maybe we should after talking about all this, I feel like we should just do a full on college episode.
Like, I mean, we can.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I know for you, because I was saying this earlier, you overloaded on your classes where you took 18 plus credit hours.
Yeah.
Mine always averaged out to 12.
That is insane to me.
And like I told you, I only did one semester where I took 15 credit hours, and that drained me completely. I don't know why, because I only attended classes Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Yeah.
But it was from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I'd be on campus the entire day. And I had 5 classes, all 5 classes, Tuesday, Thursday. And so
cramming in the whole day.
Yeah, the whole day I'd just be at on campus doing work, homework, studying, trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to pass out and then just someone steal all your stuff.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Because there's Norfolk.
I don't know. I mean, you're also talking to the girl that like I've full on like had sleepovers at the library, so.
Nah, you can't sleep at the library. You know how loud I snore. Yeah,
you go to the 4th or 5th floor where no one will bother you, and they got
someone will go over and be like, "Hey, can you wake up? Because like I can hear you snoring." It's happened to me before.
That happened to me at my internship. But that's a whole other story. Because I was pulling 80-hour weeks at that time during that internship. But anyways, yeah, no, that's I feel like in college for sure. Well, no, because I still went to school in the summertime, but obviously like my class load was probably a little bit lighter. Or I just remember that like I would go to school Tuesdays, Thursdays. My first semester, I made the mistake of all my classes were Tuesdays, Thursdays. I had one class that was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the one class that was Monday, Wednesday, Friday was literally like a 45-minute class, semi like lecture type of thing. It was a science/humanities class, so it didn't really matter, but it counted for a credit somewhere in my gen eds. And I remember being like, I'm driving an hour and a half for a 45-minute lecture. Yep. I was like, it's wild.
I've done that before too.
You know, but my logic being, because at the time when I was figuring out my work schedule also, because I was working part-time, I was like, well, I can do my Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. It's in the morning, do it in the morning, and then, get any work done, any like homework and stuff done, utilizing the library, because obviously you're paying for it. So utilize the library, utilize all the facilities, whatever I needed to do to get any work and homework done. At the time I was studying art. So I was utilizing studio hours. Like there was no tomorrow, because my parents did not want me to destroy the garage. Did I still end up destroying the garage? Probably. And then I would work Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoons. And then my full days were the Tuesday, Thursday. I'd get to campus normally around like 6 a.m. and then I would leave 8 or 9 p.m. Which is crazy to think now, because I'm like, I go to my 8-hour work day now and I'm like, I'm exhausted. And I'm like, but I used to do like 12 plus hour days. And I'm like, what happened to my stamina? I got old.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But anyways, back to summer, or summer vacation, so to speak. How has summer changed for you as an adult now?
Oh, so now that we're quote unquote adults,
The best.
we have jobs / careers that we have, and so every day in the summer, during the weekdays, it's devoted to working.
Yeah.
And I mean, nowadays, just pulling the full 8 hours and then coming home and then trying to do stuff after that is already it's a chore, really, because it's like, okay, so I get done with work, I need to feed myself, so I got to make food, and then after you make food, you have to wash the dishes, and then after you wash the dishes, you got to do something else, got to do sweep the floor or do some laundry, and now it's just like, okay, so I have this full set of things to do at home right after I get done with work, and then once I'm done with that, then I have some free time. So it's like, by the time I have free time, it's already like 10, 11
It's already
o'clock.
time to go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already time to go night-night, because you got to wake up early for work.
And so if I wanted to do something, it would have to be online. Either play a video game, hang out on Discord, or just talk with somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
And by doing those things, you have to sacrifice your sleep now in order for you to have free time.
Right.
And so you sacrifice your sleep, and then you go to sleep, and then you have to repeat the process
The next day.
Yeah. So that's how it's evolved to now, my summer vacation.
Right. One of the things that I noticed, at least for me, and we kind of talked about this in the last episode, or, I have been doing a lot of add to calendars, and I'm looking forward to things. Like, I'm like, oh, I was supposed to have a meeting today. Oh, it got postponed. Okay, I have a meeting next week. And oh, I have a meeting tomorrow. So much so, and I apologize, best friend Kelly, love you so much. Love you, love you, love you so much. But I literally told my mom today on the phone, I said these words out loud. Oh yeah, I have a meeting with Kelly tomorrow at X time. And I was like, did I just say that I have a meeting with my best friend? And I was like, what is wrong with my brain? Like, I have gotten to the point that everything is just add to calendar.
Yeah.
And it's, my life is in time blocks. So it's like, oh, okay, this hour to, 3 to 5 meeting, WebEx meeting with this. Oh, okay. And then, from 5 to 6, I need to make sure that, I cook dinner or whatever. And then 6 to 6:30, do this. 6:30 to 7, work on, this, because I have a meeting at 8, and then I got to do this. And I'm like, so everything is in a time block, which is so great for organization, but also my life is so boring. Like, everything is just, it's so planned out, because it's like I don't have any other choice. And the fact that I have to make me, like, literally put in time slots for time with friends is kind of sad. And so that's my biggest difference. Is like, when I was younger, I'd just be like, hey guys, want to hang out? Sure. Now, are you free on July 17th and 3 p.m. Okay, you can't do 3. Can you do 5? Okay, I can't do 5 because I got to pick up so and so. So can you do like 5:45 to 6:15? Okay, we'll do like, and it's that hyper specific. What does my life turn into? I am 100% going to be one of those like like moms that just has like the giant whiteboard calendar of just everyone's like,
Yeah.
this is what you're doing on this day. This is what you're doing on this day, because that's the only way I'm staying organized with our current life. So I can't even imagine what I'm going to have to maintain us and our future possible children.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be crazy. And I'm so sorry, Kelly. I'm not having a meeting with you. I'm going to have a phone conversation with you, where we will meet concerning, because she is Mo, but we will meet talking about Mo things. But also, I just want to catch up with you. I promise it's not like a business meeting, even though I said that to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I think, for me is the biggest, or the most like significant shift in like my mind of just like, before it was like, and not even just summer, but like just that freedom of like, oh, I need to do this, okay, well, I'll do it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
No worry about, oh, I have to do this, I have to acknowledge this, I have to do this, okay, I'll do it. Or, oh, I'll do it later, okay, no worries. How I wish life could go back to being that simple. But not right now. So we have too many things on the docket. Do you have any final thoughts, Chiggy, before we wrap up? Or any other things that you wanted to share about summer?
Summer memory. So the last one that I wanted to talk about was, this is probably a couple of years before you moved back here.
Uh-huh.
And like I was in my Korean phase where I would look up episodes of Running Man, and I'd watch them, and then I'd be like so engrossed in the actual episode. I'm just like, ooh, those foods look good.
Yeah.
I want to try those foods. And so I looked up, Korean restaurants in the area, and I found a place out over by Pleasure House Road called Asahi. And back then, when I went to Asahi, their menu was expansive.
We love and miss Asahi, yeah.
Yeah. And I would go there, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what I want to try first.
Right.
And I was like, do you have jjajangmyeon?
Stop! You're so cute!
And they were like, yes, of course, we have jjajangmyeon. Would you like chicken, or you want shrimp, or whatever?
Yeah.
And I was like, chicken, please. And then, that was the first meal I ever had at a Korean restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And I went by myself. And I loved it so much that every Sunday I would go to this restaurant and eat a meal over there.
Yeah.
And I just remember I'd be like, okay, I've had this. Okay, move on to the next one. I had this, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
I didn't get quite through all of their menu items back then, but I did get through a substantial amount.
Right.
And I just remember spending like $40, $50 every time I'd go there, and I'd get like 3 or 4 different things.
Of course.
Yeah, because I was just like, ooh, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that. I can't finish it, I'm gonna take it home. Doesn't matter. It's just, it's all good food. And I remember like that's what I did for an entire summer.
Yeah.
And weeks after summer, I'd still do that. And now they've had to reduce their menu down to the bare minimum because
they got hit with the panini real hard.
Well, not only that, the Oma, the mother of the family, she fell ill.
Yes.
She didn't pass, but she did fall ill, and she was the one that was really managing the kitchen back then. And so since now she doesn't work, it's gone down to the children of the family, and they're trying to do what they can.
It's still hands down the best oli kimchi in all of Hampton Roads. Their kimchi is magical. Yeah, love Asahi, love it so much. But yeah, no, that's such a nice memory, because that's such a nice, like, we've been to Asahi a handful of times ourselves, and I really do love that place, and I'm sad that they're not as vibrant as they were before, but they're figuring it out, they're making their way. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to our summer episode. It felt very appropriate because we've been going through all the summer weather. It's been hot.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you for listening to the episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.